Hello everybody and welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons! Today, I don't know, I've been up to so much. Pinky bought more glitter glue. When will you learn, girl, that you and glitter glue results in a very, very glittery bear that is stuck to the floor and the ceiling and that chair and that rubber duck. But yeah, I've been doing a ton of baking today. As in, literally, I did like all of my Christmas baking today. All of it. Let's see, I made 2 pans of sticky buns. Ooh, Sky is here too. Getting to hang out with both of you makes me happy, Queen. What's the latest? Now I see why Norma's always so relaxed. Her home is just so comfortable. Maybe that's because I get along with so well with Norma. Maybe. Russ is pretty comfy. Steven, come in and join Sky for goo. Let's chat. Play I know I was gonna have company drop like this. Could have made peanut brittle. It's fine. I mean, I'm sure Sky would have loved it, but it's fine. I have enough bad things to eat. I lost count. Crap load of donuts. Like, too many donuts. It's fitting you have a donut. What's Steven? Glad to see you. Want to chat? Fresh air never fails to cheer me up, Tallnut. It's very fair. And then I made some soft pretzels that some of them got a little hard, but it's fine. Yeah. In the pretzels, there was only supposed to be like 12. That's what the recipe was supposed to make. But, yeah, it made more than that. And I probably could have made even more than what I turned it into. And I turned it into like 15, 16, somewhere in that range. Might be closer to 18, I don't know. A lot of them got split in half. Because there was just so much dough. There's a lot of baking. I've been on my feet most of today. So, you know, I'm a bit eepy. But, you know, I enjoy baking. I enjoy cooking things. I saw that. No. Bad dung beetle. Bad. If you want to dive into the river, you can do it without my snowballs. I need those for snowball purposes. Totally not gonna make another cursed snowman today. Yeah, I haven't really done much outside of baking. I will say, I don't think I've made mention of this yet. My laptop that I've had for a while. It's an old Dell laptop. Old Dell gaming laptop, but it's not very... It wasn't very good at gaming for the past little while, because for whatever reason, Windows just kind of lost the graphics chip. And I don't really know why, because evidently it's still working, or else there wouldn't be a video output on the laptop. Because you might be like, oh, what about the integrated graphics? Yeah, that's been lost too, according to Windows. Yet there's still picture, it just can't do, it couldn't do anything 3D. So if it required any amount of 3D rendering, couldn't do it. Well, I decided to put Linux onto that laptop to see if that might fix things. And good freaking lord, was that an ordeal. It took me like 2 hours just to get the OS installed. And that's ignoring all of the annoyances that come alongside Linux. Bam. What is going on? Bud. Crafting the perfect snow person isn't a skill that comes easily. I get it. But this is ridiculous. Were you not wearing gloves? Did you sneeze when putting me together? Come on! Oh man, I think you look pretty nice. I think you should be grateful. I could tear you back apart, try again. Yeah. Using Linux, it's very much a case of, yeah, that operating system is not ready for mass adoption. Especially where I'm not using a complicated version. Linux is just stupid. Like, here's a basic explanation. Let's say you download the Haven benchmark tool because you just want to see if your computer is capable of 3D rendering. So you're downloading, even though it's old and outdated, Haven. Great, it has a Linux version. So you download it. You find the website and you download it, as you would with a program. Except apparently that's not how you should be doing things on Linux, for one. But follow me so far. Thanks for chatting with me. Slatus. My schedule today is packed. There's a monster movie on TV, video games to play, music to blast. Might just be an all night. I mean, it is the 23rd. Cutting it pretty close, though. You don't want to be doing that tomorrow. You might not get gifts from Santa then. But yeah, so you followed me so far. We've downloaded Haven onto our Linux OS, and I'm using Fazite because it was basically the recommended one for gaming stability on Linux that isn't SteamOS. And when I'm trying to give my laptop the best chance I can give it to actually function, you know, that seems like a pretty good thing to do. Go to run it. There's a .run. I'll run that. Nope. Nothing. Just opens up the source code. Okay. And opens it up in a code viewer. I don't want that. I want the program to run. Yes, there may be a run button in the code viewer. There is not. Which makes it, in my opinion, a pretty bad code viewer. If it's a code viewer you cannot execute that code in, what is even the point of viewing the code? Especially when it's already an application. So, you know, I've done that. Doesn't work. Well, how else are you going to get it to run? Well, you right-click on it, and then you're like, oh, well, maybe there's another application I can open it with. I wanted an electric kick scooter, but now they're all sold out. I should have jumped on that when I had the chance. Hold the phone. It's not an electric kick scooter you've got there, is it? Sure. You just have it. Sure. It's yours. Nah. I mean, everyone should have friends that just are really nice. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but I'm nothing special. It's mine. It's finally mine. You would not believe how revved up I'm feeling right now. If I was revved up as that electric kick scooter. You are kind of in the way, though. Thank you. But yeah, you go through this whole process. You look around the entire operating system. You cannot find any way to run that program. Anyone watching this who's used a lot of Linux probably already knows the solution, because you used a lot of Linux. You have to right-click on the program, go to Properties, go to Permissions, I believe it is, and tick a box that says, Enable this program to run as an application. You have to manually tell it that it's allowed to run an application like an application. And you have to do that with everything. Hello, Tutu. Huh? Were you talking to me? I was way in the DIY zone. Jump to. Well, making an ornament crown. The idea when I fall asleep, which is your fell slap. It's not important to try to slap each other. Yes, I would love to make one. But, yeah. Imagine doing that for literally everything you download. Or even better, going looking online for how to, say, install, say, Java onto Linux, and being met with, well, here's how you do it on this version, here's how you do it on this version, here's how you do it on this version, but not actually finding it for the version you're using. Because Linux isn't a homogeneous system. It is basically a spaghetti network of like 15 to 20 different things that don't work together. I still don't know how to put Java onto that laptop, which I need to run an application that I would very much like to run. Because one of the things I wanted to get the laptop working for was playing Magic the Gathering Forge. Well, that runs in Java. I need Java to be working on the laptop for it to function. To make Java function, get some Vengeant glasses going on. Go with the black ones. To get Java to function, I don't know. I don't know how to do it. Not with Bazite. I know how to do it with some of the others, but I'm gonna be real, I don't feel like trying to install a different version of Linux. It's been so cold, my spines are chattering. We try to distract yourself from the cold with experimenting with fun warm outfits? I recommend it. I'm literally wearing a skirt. I do have a sweater on, but... like... I don't want to go on my whole Linux rant again, but literally, from looking online, like, just trying to, you know, how do I install Linux? I found an article, or not an article, a forum, where someone's like, so I went to the Java website and clicked download on the SDK, and, you know, I'm trying to install it. And literally the top response is, well, it's because you're thinking like a Windows user. You need to do this to install it on Linux. It's like... no, I'm sorry, that's not thinking like a Windows user. That's thinking like a sensible human being to assume that if you wanted to download something, that you should go to that thing's website to download it. That is what a sensible human being would do. Because, you know, you want that thing. You don't want to download that thing via some third party. You just want to download that thing. I am honestly dumbfounded that Linux is as apparently secure as it is, because good lord, the amount these people trust random resources is absurd. Like, yes, someone could make a fake Java page to mess with somebody. Hello, Bianca. Steven, make yourself at home, Glimmer. Let's talk. Having someone at my house is super exciting. I swear, I do like your bed. Very cozy bed. It's very big. It's basically the size of my bed. Literally, just stretch my feet out there a little longer, and that's my bed experience. I would not actually be able to sleep in that bed. I'd have to sleep on the sofa. But like, someone could make an exact replica of the Oracle website to trick Java viewers into downloading something malicious. All someone would have to do is intercept the freaking download path from this third-party tool to download and install Java to just install a malicious bit of software. Like, what? Spug, how are you, Snorty? Slaves. Sometimes I really miss my parents. Other times I worry they'll fly in unannounced for a visit. This is fair. Like, I don't get it. I do not get it at all. Like, especially where Linux users try to come off like they're so freaking smart for using Linux. And it's like, guys, I've used it for like a week, and I've noticed quite a few security vulnerabilities that would be pretty easy to attack. What's up, you know? Wow. Let's talk. Stuff here's pretty rad. I mean, it's not perfect, but what is? I mean, Diva's pretty perfect. And I'll not hear otherwise. No, I'm trying to dig that up without talking to Marina. There we go. Because I've already talked with Marina today. I mean, I could always talk with her again, but I don't want to annoy the animals by talking with them too much, even though I think that's only a mechanic in the very first game. So, you know. So I have not seen Celeste. But like, once you start doing something through Terminal, like once you've given it the permission to start on something, you have to know something's going wrong to stop it. And even then, I've not exactly seen an emergency stop button kind of thing. You know, it honestly just makes me feel like people just aren't bothered to attack Linux because there's not enough Linux users. Like, that has kind of been my thought process for a while now, that the only thing keeping Linux safe compared to Windows is just there's not enough Linux users to warrant attacks. Same goes for Apple. Apple is mostly secure because there's just simply not enough Apple users to make it worth anybody's time. Like, it's not worth their time to develop a really, like, banger virus for Apple or Linux, because what purpose would that serve? There's not enough users. Meanwhile, Windows has billions of users, and a good chunk of which are still running outdated versions of Windows. And, like, I get people not liking Windows 11 and not upgrading to it. But honestly, if you're going to stay on Windows 10, you'd best be converting to the long-term service branch so that at least you're still getting security updates. The regular Windows 10 is not getting them anymore. So if a security vulnerability is discovered, you may not even be told about it. You'll only know about it when it becomes a problem for you. And also, let's not forget that, you know, it's not going to be long before games are simply not designed to run on Windows 10 anymore. Like, creepy crawler. Like, there is a lot of games that release today that simply do not work on Windows 7 or 8. They just don't work. Equally, there's a lot of games that are re-released that you need to use the compatibility layers for the older versions of Windows to make them run. I mean, how often have you seen a retro game that you have to set in Windows XP compatibility mode? You know, it's a pretty common thing there, but, yeah. A lot of things just aren't designed to work on Windows 7 or 8 because those aren't supported anymore. And Windows 10 will get there. Like, basically leaving you with the options of upgrade to Windows 11 or move to Linux. I'm gonna be real, I'm gonna say just upgrade to Windows 11. The unofficial Windows tweaker exists. You can make it look virtually identical to Windows 10. And thanks to the EU, everything Microsoft adds to Windows must be that is not essential to the operating system running, must be uninstallables. You can remove all of the AI slop. You can do that. Good evening, aren't the stars just exquisite tonight? What do you do? I almost forgot. Came across the recipe for an astronomical project in a book and jotted it down. I'd like you to have it. Do let me know if you try building it, would you? I've not built, like, any of these. I feel really bad. Capricorn ornament. But yeah, like... It's a frustrating spot that we're in. I will completely agree on that. Because, no, Windows 11 isn't ideal. Honestly, if you're installing Windows fresh today, it's hard to recommend it because you'll be on the most recent update of Windows 11. And that's broken in a lot of ways. Like... It just does not work in all of the ways that it should work. Mostly down to Microsoft rushing headlong into the AI stuff that nobody wants. And like, there are some things... I know I've gone on this rant before, and I've actually gone on this rant on stream now. There are things that AI can do that people would want, but no company is actually doing those things. They are targeting the lowest hanging fruit, and let's be real, you know, the people that say want AI to make generative art with, they don't want to pay for your AI. They want it to be free. And if you charge them for it, they'll get upset. Like, they don't want to pay money to make art. It's one of the reasons they haven't learned how to make art, is they don't want to spend money on artwork. Which makes it all the more insulting when you do find that one person making crap loads of generative AI artwork that is paying for it. Because it's like, my person, you could literally be paying an artist. Let me get some more ornaments. Blue. It's a lot of blue. You like blue? I like blue. That's red. Blue. All the blue. I actually wonder what these sell for. Would this be just like a casual moneymaker? But like... yeah. I don't want to go on the whole AI rant. I will say, like, there's things to like about Linux, but they definitely do not outweigh the annoyances of Linux. And I mean, the one thing to kind of like about it is it does make driver installation easy. Like, when you're downloading your distribution of Linux, you basically, at that moment, tell it what graphics card or chip you've got. And it downloads the appropriate... well, it basically just adds the appropriate drivers to your installation ISO, which is a virtual disk. Like, that's great. That makes driver installation so much easier. Like, your drivers are just ready to go the moment you fire up your system for the first time. Unlike with Windows, where you have to manually download it. Though Windows Update can generally find a lot of them. But that's the thing, though. Windows Update can generally find a lot of them. And what if you chose the wrong graphics card because you're not overly sure of what one you had, so you just took a best guess? Now, you're going to be met with form thread after form thread of Linux users basically going, well, you should just chose the right option at first, you dumbass. It's like, or you could tell me how to install drivers. You know, there has to be a way, I've yet to find it, but there has to be a way to manually install drivers, because how will you update your drivers then? You know, don't put that away. Like, there has to be a way to manually update drivers, which would mean manually installing drivers. So, how does one? The answer is a resounding shrug. Because, like, that is something I remember from, I believe it was some Gamers Nexus coverage of Linux. Is even they were pointing out that, like, a lot of Linux users are some of the snobbiest jerks you'll ever meet. And if you have, like, the most basic question, they'll snark you because you don't know. It's like, no, I haven't been using this operating system forever. It's not my identity. I don't know how to do whatever, you know. I do not know how to install drivers manually. I don't know how to find and install Java on Bazite, because it uses a different terminal install than a lot of the others do. Like, but, you know, you're just supposed to know. Like, come on. You don't know? How could you not know? You installed the operating system, so surely you were already an expert. It's not like when you have a problem with Windows, you can generally go to your search engine of choice, punch in your exact problem, and probably find other people who have had that same problem and how to fix it. As well as a lot of volunteers on specifically the Microsoft forums who will painstakingly spend hours to days of their time helping you solve a problem. I have not seen an equivalent for Linux in searching. I'm not saying one doesn't exist, but in searching the internet, I have not found one. And like, I am thinking, whenever SteamOS releases to the public, of maybe changing out the operating system again on this laptop to be SteamOS. And I'm primarily thinking of doing that just simply because I have a feeling that it will be potentially easier to use with more tools built homogenously for it. More things that will just be click to run. Like, this is kind of what I meant ages ago when I've been saying that if Linux ever wants to be taken seriously and become actually the next Windows, basically, that they need to give up on a lot of what currently makes them them. And that's one of those things where, like, this idea that double click to run something. Oh, well, literally, one of the things I saw when I was looking and basically looking to complain about having to enable that application to run as an application. One of the things I legitimately saw people saying was, well, what if it was a malicious program? You'd want to be able to read through the code first to make sure it's safe. Motherfricker, I'm pretty confident in the things I download. Like, I'm not the absolute safest internet user, but I'm pretty far up there. I double check URLs on download websites if it's not a page that I have bookmarked and already know is something safe. You know, I'm pretty confident it's good, and honestly, viruses don't care if you run them for the most part. Some of them do, a lot of them don't. They get their thing done by being downloaded. Like, usually downloading them is all the trigger they need to do what they need to do. Sometimes they do need to be ran, a good amount of times they do, but like, I'm not a programmer. And I am, but I'm kind of not. I understand programming languages, but do you seriously think that I'm gonna sit here and read through all of the code of, like, freaking Magic the Gathering Forge just to make sure there's no virus hidden away in there somewhere? I'm not an antivirus program. I have an antivirus for that. Like, I shouldn't have to be the antivirus. That's what an antivirus program is for. That's why you run things like Windows Defender on Windows and Malwarebytes on basically everything. And, you know, they detect this crap when it goes to launch. That's what they're there for. But, you know, apparently Linux users are so paranoid that they need to see the code. So make that an option. How about instead of being default off, it's default on with a equivalent of start menu shortcut to turn it off. You know, turn that default to off so that, you know, the people who are really paranoid, they can keep being paranoid. Enjoy your paranoia. It's not for me. Not a very paranoid person. But yeah, I think that's gonna mark the end of today. I've done a lot of Linux ranting. I'm only even thinking of Linux because I was using my laptop a lot today to like browse YouTube while I was baking. Watched a lot of CGB, Magic the Gathering stuff. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. I thank you all very much for watching. And hopefully I shall see you back here tomorrow for, well, Christmas Eve. Well, Toy Day Eve. See you all then.